Hello students, my name is Professor Waugh and I've been teaching college chemistry for over 31 years. Today we're learning about ions and isotopic symbols of ions. So just like the isotopic symbol of atoms, where they have the same number of protons and different number of neutrons, the isotopic symbol of an ion will have the same number of protons, different number of neutrons, but the number of electrons will change. So let's start class. Quick note before we begin, we have a website. There you can find all the notes we write for our videos. We also have quizzes and assessments, so go check us out. Thanks. Hi guys, today we're talking about isotopes with ions. Now let's do a quick review. Atoms versus ions. Now remember what I told you in a previous video. Anytime you say the word atom, the number of protons must be equal to the number of electrons. Now, if I say ions, now the number of protons is not equal to the number of electrons. So let's do our review again. A cation, it will have a positive charge. Say the word with me, cation. And why is this? Because you have more protons than electrons. So thus, obviously, you're going to have a positive charge because protons have a positive charge. When I say anion, here there is a negative charge on the ion. Why? Because the electrons will be more than the protons, and electrons have a negative charge. Now remember, you cannot change the number of protons. Now let's look at a closer look at ions. Remember, I didn't say anything about a neutron, okay? So I don't want you to even consider that, all right? Now with a cation, metals always lose electrons when making chemical ionic bonds. And an example of that will be the sodium ion. Sodium has protons, number is 11. You know where to find that on the periodic table. And the number of electrons is 11. And if you don't, we'll put a little reminder here. Hey, can you have our mascot show the periodic table? Thank you. Thus, when it makes a chemical ionic bond, it will lose one electron because it wants to be just like neon. So sodium ion, or the sodium cation, will have a positive charge. Why? Because sodium will keep the 11 protons. You can't change that. But now that it's lost an electron, you have 10 electrons left. So it looks just like neon. Don't forget that. Okay, let's talk about the anion. Nonmetals always gain electrons when making chemical ionic bonds. An example of this will be the chlorine atom. You know, it's got proton 17, electron 17, but it wants to be like argon, so it will look out there in nature and grab that electron, and now it becomes proton 17, electrons 18, and that's called the chloride ion. So you got to speak the language of chemistry whenever you have that negative charge on a monatomic ion, meaning only one element in the ion. Then it's a nonmetal. We change the ending or the suffix of the word to "ide" suffix. So now it thinks it's just like argon. Now, nonmetal anions always end with the "ide" suffix. This is the beginning of nomenclature, which means naming chemical compounds. So we're going to get into this. Okay, isotopic symbol of ions then becomes very easy because I know you know the mass number, I know you know the atomic number, and the charge goes on the right side of the upper region. Now, let's break this down a little bit further as a reminder. Okay, we've done this. So mass number, number of protons, plus the number of neutrons. You know that. And if you don't, look at our old videos. This has to be a whole number. So do not look at the periodic table to find the mass number. It has to be given by the author of the problem, or you have to calculate it. So the mass number is represented by the letter A in the literature, and it goes in the upper left region next to the symbol of the element. Okay, let's talk about that atomic number. And you know this is only the number of protons. It's the whole number that's on the periodic table in the rectangle or square. So remember, you cannot change the number of protons. Change the protons, change the element. All right, let's put it all together. Isotopic symbols of ions. The charge on the cation or the anion, as you know, will go in the upper right region. So here goes an example. What is the isotopic symbol for an anion that has 17 protons, 20 neutrons, and 18 electrons? So A, the mass number, easy for you, you know it's the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. Has to be the whole number. So 17 plus 20 is 37. Easy ka-cheesy. Now, Z, which is your atomic number, has to be just the number of protons. So you can see I put it in the lower left region on my isotopic symbol. Now, the charge. You always have to do the charge on the upper right side of your isotopic symbol. So the charge is, in this scenario, is the number of protons minus the number of electrons. So 17 minus 18 is a -1. Do you notice that I didn't put a 1 up there with my charge? That is from the American Chemical Society. You never write ones in your charge. You're not supposed to do that. So the charge will just be negative. Thank you for attending class. To recap, ions are atoms that have an unequal number of protons and electrons. Cations are ions that have more protons and thus have a positive charge, while anions are ions that have more electrons and will have a negative charge. When elements make ionic bonds, metals will lose electrons and thus they will have a positive charge. Conversely, nonmetals will gain electrons and thus will have a negative charge. Please remember that nonmetal anions will end in the "ide" suffix. Once again, thank you for watching. If you like what you saw and want to support us, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment and we'll be happy to answer you as soon as possible. Because we are Friend in Chem, our mission is to make learning chemistry fun, easy, and effective. So, see you next time.